It has already been a monumental week in terms of Destiny history. We of course had the release of Season 15, it's ongoing right now, there's a ton of new stuff in the game, but we also got all kinds of news about the future of the franchise in terms of what's going to be coming with Destiny 2 Witch Queen next year, what's going to be happening beyond that, and even what's going to be happening beyond that point later on. But the news just doesn't stop. Late yesterday afternoon, Bungie dropped yet another bomb. The future of Trials of Osiris, a revamp for that in-game PvP pinnacle content, is coming. And in this video, we're going to be covering everything Bungie had to say about it. What's going on, Guardians? My name is The Black Link, and without further ado, let's talk about how Trials of Osiris is going to be changing. Here's what Bungie had to say. As announced in the Destiny 2 showcase, we have some changes planned for Trials of Osiris. Mode changes, matchmaking tuning, and more. If you're a Trials novice, here's a quick rundown on what to expect on September 10th, 2021. They want to make Trials more accessible no matter your level of skill or fireteam size. They also want to make Trials more rewarding, whether you're winning matches or earning reputation with Saint 14. And finally, they want to make Trials more engaging, testing out changes to elimination and reintroducing Crucible Labs to Destiny 2. And then we get to hear some crazy details from Bungie's Rituals lead, Alan Blaine, about how exactly Trials is going to be changing. First things first, we've got, of course, a change coming to the schedule for Trials of Osiris. Trials itself will be taking a short hiatus at the beginning of Season 15. In Bungie's journey to create and maintain a more healthy population, they want to remove certain issues where players are torn between multiple PvP or in-game goals for a given weekend. So, they're making the following changes for all their future seasons starting in Season 15. No more Trials in Week 1 or before the Raid World's First. Week 1 should be about exploring new content, features, and tunings, as well as finding and using the new weapons and exotics. And then, this is a big one, no Trials during Iron Banner. Overlapping limited time PvP events aren't good for the health of either game mode. That's actually a really surprising change to me. I would not think that they would take away Trials while Iron Banner is live. Anyways, they go on to say that Trials of Osiris will return on September 10th, 2021. And then we get to hear about a lot of the crazy and amazing reward changes that are going to be coming to the game mode. And of course, the first reward change is access to the rewards. Since they want more people, their goal is to have more people trying out Trials of Osiris. So here's how they're going to be changing things up. 1, they've reduced the requirements for the Trials access quest to use lifetime Valor ranks and kills. This should open up Trials to more long-term Crucible dabblers. 2, Trials now allows queuing and matchmaking without a full fire team. They state that they want to allow more players to try the mode out and start earning rewards, even if they don't have a fire team. This is something they talked about on the Witch Queen reveal stream earlier this week. It's one of the largest changes to Trials of Osiris, and in my opinion, I think this is a fantastic idea. Trials always had a huge barrier to entry, and if Bungie's goal was to get more people to play, opening up matchmaking for people who don't have a full fire team it's just a perfect way to do it. Anyways, let's move on. They also say you can enter the playlist solo or with a friend, and the matchmaking will fill the rest of your fire team for you. Freelance Trials, which is going to be no pre-made fire team, solos only, will also be available via labs. More info on that later. And finally, going flawless on your own will be hard to impossible, but we're sure someone will do it thanks to the other players they match up with. And then, in another big change, Trials of Osiris now requires the annual expansion to play. They say in their efforts to strengthen security around the Trials experience, they're removing opportunities for players to create numerous free accounts to circumvent cheat detection, bans, and restrictions. And they'll be talking a bit more about security later on in this article. And this is beyond light for Season 15 and will change to the Witch Queen once it launches. Now, long story short, that means Trials of Osiris is getting a paywall. If you want to enjoy the Trials of Osiris, in-game pinnacle Crucible game mode, you have to own the latest DLC. So if you get banned, if you're somebody who's cheating and you get banned, you're going to have to rebuy the latest DLC to get back into Trials. That's probably going to be incredible for the health of the game mode as well. But after that, we learn about some rule set changes. These are going to affect how the rounds in Trials go themselves. First up, round time has been reduced to 90 seconds from 120 seconds. Stalling to wait for ability energy isn't fun for either the winning or the losing team. Now this change of course won't fully eliminate stalling, but they are going to be making other changes as well. Next up, emotes. Emotes now stay in first-person camera, and swords can't be equipped unless you have ammo. This change is in elimination and survival also. And because of this change, if you run out of sword ammo while you're using it, you'll be force-swapped to a different weapon. This removes the ability for players to secretly peek around corners without putting themselves in danger. So it looks like Bungie is really trying to cut down on the 3 peeking in Trials 2. Again, another really good change for the health of the game mode. And then finally, special and heavy ammo no longer carries over between rounds. Having the winning team keep all of the collected ammo, but the losing team getting set back to default creates too big of a snowballing advantage. I think that's a good idea as well. But that's it for the rule set changes. Next up, we are going to talk rewards and reputation. Saint 14 is getting new Trials ranks, reputation, and a rewards track, and Trials tokens have been retired. Reputation will be gained at match completion based on the number of rounds won on your ticket, and tickets will track up to 20 round wins now. And they state they made this change because emphasizing winning individual rounds for the core rewards gives every player more achievable goals at all skill levels. I can agree with that. And since you don't have to win full matches to get rewards now, you always have a reason to keep trying even if you're behind. Good idea. And finally, ranking up gives you a Trials Engram. And they're going to be covering more on that in just a sec. Powerful Trials Engrams now show up every 3 rank ups before your first reset of the season. And just like the other ritual reputations, there are other rewards to earn every 3 ranks. And Trials ranks has 1 unique Trials weapon at rank 10 and rank 16 for each of the first 3 resets of Season 15. And then we get a great look at what the new reputation system, what the new vendor inventory screen for Saint 14 is going to look like. He's of course getting the exact same sort of system that Lord Shaxx has, that the Drifter has, and now Commander Zavala as well. And I gotta say, I like the ideas here. Tying rewards and a lot of reputation to your wins on a round basis rather than a full match completion basis, I think is a really interesting way to kind of incentivize people to continue playing Trials, even if they're not winning full games. So your reputation is still going to be gained upon completing the match, but the amount of reputation you get, the rewards that you get, is going to be based on the number of individual rounds that you've won over the course of your entire time playing Trials that weekend. I think it's a great way to kind of keep people playing the game mode. It's a great incentive to keep people coming back into Trials, even if they're not winning full games. Definitely an interesting change there, Bungie. Next, we hear about changes coming to passages. One of the most restrictive things about the prior trial system was the emphasis on winning, and winning often to get rewards. While winning matches will still pave the road to the lighthouse, they're making some changes to let players enter the activity and earn rewards without having to reset their passages frequently. And so, passages no longer track losses. A passage is either flawless or not. Interesting change. This allows you to keep playing and earning match and round wins for rewards, and players may continue to reset their passages after a loss, but are no longer forced to after 3 losses total. Passages can track up to 20 rounds won, and passages have been reordered. Mercy isn't super useful unless you're trying to go flawless, and have had all their prices significantly reduced. Great change. Passages are also now account-wide. You can play and earn rewards on any of your characters on the same passage. Major changes coming to the entire Trials system here. After that, we learned that each week there are going to be 2 pinnacle challenges for Trials. One is to win 7 matches total on a given weekend, and 2 is to win a total of 50 rounds. And you're also going to be getting access to bonus progress based on the number of wins on your card. And because of this, the 3, 5, and 7 win challenges have been removed. Once you max out the reputation, you can reset and claim an Ascendant Shard or Exotic Engram. And like other ritual reputations, Trials ranks and rewards reset each season. Additionally, they say they want to keep players going deeper into their cards rather than resetting each time they lose a match. And so, match wins on a 7-win card have a chance to drop extra Trials Engrams, Masterworking materials, and high stat Trials armor. Also, the Lighthouse experience isn't changing, which means of course you're going to get a unique Pinnacle Adept weapon each week the first time you visit on your account, and all of the mods and cosmetics are available in the chest to reward return visits to the Lighthouse. After that, we get a look at the upcoming Trials Engram. Trials Engrams now decrypt to a random selection from current armor and non-adept weapons. You do not need to unlock a piece of armor or weapon before it shows up in the Trials Engram. However, you can focus your Engrams at Saint 14 to decrypt specific items that you have already received. If you've gone flawless that week, you can focus additional drops of the weekly adept weapon, but you can expect it to be a bit expensive, they say. This is an amazing change. I'm so happy to see that they're basically taking the Umbral Engram focusing system and adding it. It's a target-focused loot system that allows you to go kind of for the loot that you want, whatever game mode you're playing. Super happy to see them expanding upon that and adding it to Trials of Osiris. This is going to be really good for the game mode. Add to that, they talk a bit about matchmaking. You can now start matchmaking with players that have the same number of wins on the card and with similar Trials game performance of the given week. They have a bunch of different factors planned, and we'll be watching and tuning these to balance match quality versus matchmaking time. If matchmaking takes too long, it widens the similarity check until it finds enough opponents for the match to start. Meaning the game is going to try to put you with people who are on a similar level to you, which I guess makes sense if you're solo queuing. You don't want to get somebody who's got 0 wins when you're at 6 wins. Alright, let's move on to the security talk. Of course, we learned earlier this week about BattleEye anti-cheat coming to the game, but Bungie also upgraded their security policy to include a couple of other things. They want to stamp down on some initiatives outside of the digital realm, win trading and account recoveries. They have a full article talking about this, but basically they're going to start taking action against all of those things. So make sure to keep an eye out for that. And then, the final section is titled Trials Labs. This is going to be the reintroduction of the Crucible Labs formula that we used to have in D2, where Bungie would put in experimental game modes. They would allow players to play in these game modes and then give feedback on what needs to be changed, improved, taken away, all that kind of stuff. It looks like that's returning with a focus on Trials. In particular, they have 3 labs planned for Season 15. One is Capture and Elimination Hybrid. One capture point activates 30 seconds after each round starts with an extended capture timer. The capture location changes each round, as do spawn locations. Capturing that location wins the round, or you can always just eliminate the other team. They believe that this will help further curb round stalling and has made matches during internal playtesting much more dynamic. However, they would like to get the opinion of a wider audience before making such significant changes to the mode in a more permanent fashion. The next game mode is called Trials Freelance. As a separate node from the main Trials activity, this will be the mode where only solo players can queue. While they believe this is the right change in a vacuum, they aren't sure if splitting Trials into 2 matchmaking pools will deliver low matchmaking times and high quality play in both pools at the same time. So they want you to prove them wrong. That's probably where I'm going to be spending most of my time in Trials, in that freelance solo playlist. And finally, no more intro quest. One weekend where players who have never played in the Crucible can still join in to Trials of Osiris. That's also going to be a major beneficial change for certain players out there who haven't gone through the intro quest for Trials. Overall, a lot of these are some really amazing changes. Really excited to see the way they're revamping the Trials of Osiris game mode, as well as Saint 14 as a vendor. But those are the changes, that's the news, those are my thoughts. Be sure to leave me yours down in the comment section below. We still have a TWAB to cover this week. Who knows what Bungie's going to be including in that? But make sure you let me know how you feel about the upcoming Trials changes down in the comment section below. Remember, Trials is returning on September 10th, 2021. So make sure to dive in and maybe I'll see you in the Crucible. But that's it for this one. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to drop a like, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest stuff we're putting out. But I'm out for now. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I am the Black Link. You Guardians, stay frosty.